let's talk about intention with your kids. Now, we practice this every day, whether we know it or not, when it comes to raising kids. What we do when we have an intention in the world is we're putting our values into action so that we're less reactive and we're more proactive in how we live out our life. And so every single time we talk to our kids about being kind or doing something positive or being generous or whatever the value is that we're trying to talk to them about, being more loving, being more gentle, we're actually teaching them how to live intention out in the world. And so the easiest way that you can start to build an intention-driven existence for your kids and how to teach it to them. Now, they're not going to want to work with an intention statement when they're like about age 13 and under. And as they get to be around around 13, the tween area, moving into their early teens, you could start, depending on your kid, you could start to think about forming an intention statement with them. But the easiest way to do it when they're younger than 13 for sure, and maybe all the way up till they're an adult, you want to do it this way, is to just ask them, like, who do you want to be in the world? What kind of energy do you want to give off? And when they're really little, they're not going to know how to answer that question because, they don't have the abstract thinking. They're still pretty concrete thinkers, and you get to help them. So you get to say, do you want to practice being kind today? Do you want to practice sharing today? Which, sharing is generosity, right? So either think about what you do as a family on a regular basis, or think about your unique kid, or do a little bit of both, and start to work with them on what does that mean to show up with a positive vibe into the world. One of the things that we do on a regular basis with the two boys that I nanny for is we practice positive vibe giving. And so a lot of times if we're having kind of a rough start to our morning at the bus stop, I'll say, okay, it's positive vibe time. And then we will say what we appreciate about each other. And I include myself in that so that they can practice what it's like to say, I appreciate this about you, to adults as well as their siblings. And so we send that kind of energy into their day then. And then once they are getting on the bus, as the bus is arriving, I always say to them, remember, be brave, be kind. And that is a way to send them off with intention as well. And there's been several times now where they've come home and the first words out of their mouth is, hey, I was brave today, or I was really kind today. And so following up with your kids is just as important as sending them off with certain values in mind. So you want to make sure that you're asking those questions and training them to do some self-evaluation and to build accountability into living out your intention. Because it's super easy to forget that actually can propel us through our day. And when you're a child, of course, you don't understand because you don't have the brain development yet to understand that something that happens here has an effect over here. And so you want to start to train your kids to understand that their choices do have a cumulative effect, as well as they have an effect on things that they don't even realize. They don't know if they made someone's day by extending kindness. They don't know if they changed somebody and how they felt about themselves because they were brave and stood up for that other friend or a classmate. So teaching our kids intention from an early age is going to change the trajectory of their life forever. So you will never regret teaching your kids this skill. And I invite you to ask some more questions about this, and let's get your kids living with intention every single day.